right, so here we go. Friday, we closed here. This is the S&P. Gapped up right into this yellow zone, the brighter one. And so far, we're rejecting. And I actually had, is it just the NASDAQ or... Okay. So we're actually above that. I thought we'd play the... We'll get to that in a little bit. And until we actually break above, and I will make these brighter for everyone's sake. I guess I'm on a different monitor, so it just doesn't look as bright to me. Let's make this. I don't care if it's tomorrow, if it's in 2 hours, or 2 minutes. Actually, technically, it's on the daily time frame. We need to break above and close to be bullish. Getting below this, bearish. So let's keep an eye on these two levels. We came ripping down, right? Got back above, but right back in, and just playing the game back and forth inside here. Last week, that was best case scenario was to rein it back in, and that's kind of where we're at. So looking at the overall, that's a spike down. That was probably, for now, until we see something that rivals that, I think that was our peak. I think that was the peak for the VIX. I think that was peak fear. I think that was everything right there. I think now we start just the grind up. We could grind down. It could go sideways. I think that was the peak of the just knee-jerk, let's move it here, let's move it there, days. If I'm wrong, you won't need to come in here and comment. We'll already know. Yeah. There's something real weird about that play, though. Typically, when I see something like that, you know there's volatility. I'm trying to think, when I look at a stock and I see that, earnings are usually involved, some kind of manipulation where somebody wants the shares cheap, but I just don't know about if that's it. Could be a good short for the NASDAQ, hedging until the market's open? Maybe. Did you see any news about the bond market and bonds rising and making our debt more expensive? So that's why Trump did his reversal on Thursday. It's all over X and Reddit. I've seen it, but honestly, I'm trying to avoid it. It's a hard game to play because there's a lot of noise going on right now, especially someone who runs a chat, and I get to see all the comments, all the opinions, and you know, no one's right or wrong. It's just kind of all out there. But there's also just a lot of noise and to what's driving what, and it's all over X, Reddit, and Truth Social, and it's just I think now more than ever, personally, I'm gonna stick more to the charts and just follow these zones that I draw. That's what I've done for 13 years now. It's worked every time. You know, as far as for me. Oh, someone's wrong. We just don't know who yet. Exactly. Yeah, to that point, the person who's really wrong is the person who's really over allocated. You know, because you can hear the news, you can play every news article out there. You'll really lose your whole your whole account when you just throw down and you bet the farm on it. You know, you want to say, like, he's your boy. You believe in him. You believe what he says on X. You know, actually, no matter who it is. You can throw some money on him. You know, throw some money on a play. He's going to move markets and really give him way more credit than you probably think you should. And you could be right. You could be wrong. You know, everyone's got their little, their system at the casino. Doesn't really mean anything. Has anyone ever told you about a system at a casino? You know why they're there? How many times do they visit the ATM with their system? 560 SPY. Then the next leg down. Well, let's check that out. 560 sends all up to here. Ooh, man, what are you drawing, a trend line? That'd be wild. Personally, I'm still a buyer. I'd be really pissed calling 485 last year. If you are new here, just go watch my videos last year, September, November. And someone said it in the chat, and I think it was Matt, and it's would be, I don't know, I'd probably lose my mind. He said, imagine calling the bottom out last year and not buying it. That would suck. So anyway, I am still selling puts and everything. I did take assignment on Tesla at 250, which I had to roll last week. Last week, those shares would have got taken away. For now, I haven't switched to buying shares yet. I'm just selling. I'm selling puts, and I probably want to give it probably a week or two. What I want is this to chill out. When the volatility gets this high, I dial it back. Like I let everybody else go nuts, go crazy, do whatever you want. I'm over here just observing for now. I don't really go all in like some others do. Gun to the head, am I bullish or bearish with the NASDAQ and S&P? Ooh, I would, gosh, I would have to go bearish, I think. Bearish because that was that zone right there. Until we get above that, let's play the bullish play. You know, you're kind of not really out of the woods. If you're going to go short, you probably have to have your stop somewhere up here. You're just begging to tag out. Get above that, we're probably headed to that next zone. But for now, I'd have to play the yellow zones. I have some long deltas already, so okay with hedging a bit. Yeah, and I think delta is an important conversation. I don't have the expected moves up, so if you have my charts, they will be by the end of tonight. But yeah, let's have a talk of deltas. Remember, options are soft deltas, shares are hard deltas. You can measure your whole portfolio and each sector. You can break down 1,000,002 different ways. But you know, are you short? You're short deltas. If you're long deltas, regardless of what vehicle you're using, and just kind of see overall. And then if you were to use the S&P just kind of as an indicator, you can almost know like, hey, this is a bright green candle, I'm up. If it's red, I'm down. You know, whichever one it was. But for when I switch to buying shares, it's probably soon. If I don't see anything wild in the next week or two, I'm probably going to start collecting and accumulating shares. This is still, it's when you want to do it. Yeah, it would have been cool to whole account everything, but you know, 40% drop was kind of on the table, 30-40%. So if the VIX ultimately chills out, remember the VIX can still come down. I'm in VIX puts. The VIX can still come down, and the S&P go down with it. More importantly to me is, how does the S&P come down? Do we grind it down like this? This is still pretty aggressive. I just don't want this. This tells me too many hands are on board. We're playing with too many emotions. So you know, dial it back. Do your charts automatically update, or do you have to re-download? In theory, they should automatically update. As soon as I click save up here, it should save every 5 minutes. But when I click the save button, it should be good. TradingView has been buggy sometimes, so you have to just re-download it. Some people just, honestly, a lot of the chat got tired of TradingView, so they re-download it every Sunday. It's just part of their weekly ritual. And then all the complaining. Once they just started doing that, all the complaining stopped. Sell in May and go away. Well, that would suck to sell now. Sell in May and go away, huh? Sell at the bottom. What a banging play. All right, now on the NASDAQ, I really had these two zones just pegged as far as like where we would play the back and forth game. Made it all the way back up here. I'm going to leave these highlighted just in case. But right now, kind of the same as the S&P. Let's see which zone we break. Do we break above and get up here, or do we break below and come back down? The thing is, if we break above, it's a grind up. If we break below, a little more grease on the track as far as that goes. And we could just, probably not to this nature without an absolute catalyst, but we could sell off a lot easier than we could push up right now. Earnings can be the next down leg. They can be what saves things. Overall, I think a great earnings would probably have a green candle. I don't know if earnings are going to save anything. They could very well lead to a leg down if they're all just bad. But I think a great earnings will probably push it up, probably give a decent amount back, and then hang tight. The problem is, and what I see coming, and we've had this talk in my chat as well quite a bit, is how many people are going to have guidance. There are so many things, so many factors involved now that they have to price in as a business. Hey, how are you going to do next quarter? Well, I don't know. Did our, you know, because there's your in column and out column, like money coming in, money going out. How many things just got added to the out column? Like, how many times did we get tariffed? And the best example I can give you is an engine on a vehicle. You know, because this opened my eyes figuring this out. You know, Chevys and Fords. The metal comes from Canada, then you get the piston rod. You get the piston from Mexico. It makes its way from like Canada to the United States, to Mexico to the United States, to Canada to the United States, to Mexico again. Both entering other countries twice you get a tariff every time. So it's not just one flat rate. Hey, you're selling a vehicle, here comes the tariff. It's all the parts. All of that gets passed along. So how many companies just don't give guidance because there's something like that underlying that we just didn't see, and they're like, man, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do next quarter. Really depends on this tariff situation. You know, Optimus isn't here making everything yet. We don't have the tooth fairy on our side. We're not here just dreaming stuff up. You know, and so if they come out and say something like that, I don't know if that'll spook the markets anymore, but it certainly won't drive any encouragement to any things. Who can give guidance? Tariffs? Is it Terrence? Tariffs change every day. Yeah, no kidding. What are they going to say? Like, hopefully. Now, I will say the one cool thing I'll keep in the back of my mind is the ones that really sell off because they're fearful of tariffs. They really take the beat down. Whether they want to come out and sandbag or just play it super safe, hey, we're not expecting to do good. We're going to pay tariffs through every pore. You know, like, this is going to suck. And they sell off because watching those companies, as tariffs change, we get exemptions or they perform better than expected. Next earnings quarter might do pretty well. No guidance. Oh my God, red candle. But we're going to do a 50 billion buyback. Yay, buy it all back. Yeah, it's. I would expect some chop at the very least, which is probably my position is not a lot to say. But remember, guys, it wouldn't be an earnings video without a disclaimer. That is a gamble play. That is money you're putting on a roulette wheel, and it's red or black. And occasionally it does land on green. Green just means sideways, and everyone loses. They clear the board. Unless you're that one guy that sold an iron condor because he's brand new and like YouTubed an iron condor video and like that's it. Shout out to that guy for the one time he wins. The earnings won't be the move of the markets, but the company's guidance, yeah. Grandpa Dow, same thing. This one I think looks, I don't know, looks a little bit stronger. I say that now, but that trend line down also looks a little bit stronger. The Dow I think looks I might get fried for saying this. I don't want to say safer. Looks this more steady. It comes with the territory of tech though.